Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava is no longer Tennessee's quarterback. He's parted ways with the school, did it before the spring game on Saturday. The redshirt sophomore reportedly was looking for more NIL money from the school. He has entered the transfer portal, which opens tomorrow. Miami coach Mario Cristobal had this to say about the entire situation.
We're not going to do that at Miami. And I say that without any hesitation. If anyone's thinking that, and they could be the best player in the world, if they want to play holdout, they might as well play get out. We don't want to do that. We don't want Miami to become that. Too many guys have sweated, bled, and have laid on the line on that field to ever become that kind of a program.
Let me interject for a second. That's me down here at the bottom. Mario, while I like what you said, man, I think it was great. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You've already done it. You paid Carson Beck $4 million. What you said is spot on. It's just coming from the wrong mouth. Now, let's get back to the video.
Okay, I have overwhelming issues with that and all the others who are saying things like that, but I'll save my comments for last. Let's hear from the group. It's been too long since we've had Heather and Paul, who always bring perspective and insight to all of these college stories. Heather, I'll start with you. What is it that the people watching this who, again, didn't follow all the news over the weekend, what is it they need to know?
Well, it starts with a failure of leadership over a decade ago. That's why college athletics is here at this point, Greeny. What has happened is that athletes every day in college football, every day, are asking their coaches for more money. It's just that nobody is talking about the freshman left tackle who's asking for $1.5 million. So when Chris Lowe reported that Iamaleava is asking for $4 million, he didn't show up at practice on Friday morning. Sources at Tennessee told me he lost the locker room. There was no going back at that point. And Josh Heupel and other staff members had no communication with Iamaleava. So at that point, Heupel said, and he told the team on Saturday morning before the spring game, no one player is bigger than this team. And Greeny, I talked to people outside of the SEC, athletic leaders, who were so happy that Tennessee said that and handled it the way they did to hopefully send a message to other people. Because what is different about Iamaleava's situation is that he was a no-show. And unlike the NFL with contracts that are binding, this is different because these contracts are with the NIL collectives.
Paul, what is your perspective? Again, this takes place sort of on your watch, if you will, in your neck of the woods down there in the SEC. What is your take on the whole thing?
But before Paul starts, Heather Dinich is spot on in some ways. Some of the stuff she said I didn't really agree with, but it's just a lot different than the NFL because the NFL have binding contracts. These are NIL contracts is what she said, so they're not as binding. Now, I'm not sure why they're not, but there needs to be some more legal recourse, and these universities need to start taking that into account, get with their lawyers, and maybe start making some kind of binding contracts.
Greeny, what was so interesting Friday afternoon, listening to fans all over the SEC and in particular in Knoxville, they were done with this guy. They did not want him back, as good as he was. And by the way, he was good, not great. He helped Tennessee get to the playoffs. But they didn't want him even if he showed up on Saturday because there is a big inflection point going on right now in college football. Fans are tuning out, especially older generation fans. They don't understand this. They don't like it. They have not embraced it. And they get sick to their stomach, Greeny, every time a player tries to pull a heist like this. And that's exactly what it was. He already had an agreement to try to get more money before a scrimmage, meaning I won't play next season right before the portal, was a slap in the face of every college football fan in this country.
Exactly. A slap to the face, not just every college football fan, but every administrator, every coach that he told and made a commitment to that he was going to be there. And that's the thing is they always want to excuse this shit. The guy coming up, Ryan Clark, is a good example of it. He's a complete and utter idiot. But we'll let the idiot speak in just a second. But yeah, you don't you give someone your word or you tell them that you're going to do something, you might need to do it. He lost the locker room because he wanted to hold out for more money after he had already made a deal. It'd be different if he hadn't signed any deals or told Tennessee this was what he would take, but he did. And it's given these guys an unrealistic view of how they're going to handle business when they get into the professional world, that being the NFL for them.
RC, you played obviously at the highest levels of college football. You have a son who just
already making a stupid ass face that I want to wipe my ass on.
Just finished playing college football. I just set that up so people understand where some of your background perspective on this may be. What do you make of the whole thing?
I mean, the first thing is, Paul, bump the fans. Like, the fans.
Bump the fans. Bump the fans. You're a real Billy Badass behind the screen, man. Now, I know you're an athlete and all that, and you probably handle yourself, but you can't handle everybody, bro. Your athleticism don't help you out in the streets when somebody sees you. Bump the fans? Really? Bump the fans. That's just the kind of stupid shit that will come out of the mouth of a jackass. From the mouth of a jackass should be the name of whatever show Ryan Clark goes doing forward. I would hope that ESPN would eventually fire this guy, but of course they're not, because they're idiots too. If they didn't have the SEC contracts, they would probably be done as a business as a whole. Bump the fans. The fans are the one that put you where you're at, Ryan Clark. You'll say, my athleticism, my hard work put me where I'm at. Yeah, but your athleticism and your hard work does not pay you. The fans pay you, because the fans buy the tickets, buy the merchandise, all that stuff that keep the owners in business and make it to where the owners can get a paycheck and then give you a paycheck in return. So, yeah, man, someone just should slap the hell out of you, man. Like, slap you really hard.
Fans don't matter. They just don't. This is about those young men, and this is about those football teams. I think
they do matter, you stupid bitch.
It goes back to what Heather said, the failure of leadership of the NCAA and former president Mark Emmert. They could have been on the right side of history, but because since Teddy Roosevelt instituted the NCAA and they've made money off of student athletes back without ever having to give them anything but a quote unquote free education, they didn't want to change.
They didn't just give them a quote unquote free education. First of all, that education usually costs a regular student like me or you, $50,000 a semester. But Ryan Clark, once again, has not done his research, because he is a jackass, and that's what jackasses do. And these players got a stipend. They got free food at these immaculate cafeterias that they set up for these players. Here at Alabama, it's Bryant Hall. But, yeah, they got a stipend, Ryan, like $1,500. So they did get some money. They didn't get enough. I will agree with you on that, Ryan. They were not given enough money. But now they're taking it too far.
They didn't want to say we can put rules and regulations on NIL. We can make sure that these players have more than they have been giving, but we can also make sure that it's not the wild, wild west, and that coaches don't have to deal with players that may hold out in a situation where you shouldn't hold out because the contract isn't binding. And now you got people like Mario Cristobal, who, by the way, is part and fault of this, because he gave Carson Beck, who ain't the best quarterback in the country, $4 million to go to Miami. There's no reason for him to hold out, because
that is a good point. Mario, like I said before, you can't be running your mouth. I already mentioned that. But you can't really run your mouth, Ryan. Not Ryan, but you can't really run your mouth, Mario, when you've already given $4 million for a quarterback.
He's getting overpaid. But that's what it is when there's no cap. That's what it is when there's no rules. And I'm not mad at Josh Heupel in Tennessee for taking a stand. If you don't want that sort of player in your university, if you don't want that sort of player in your locker room, then you get rid of him. You tell him there's no place for him to come back. But it goes back to the NCAA not doing what they should have done in the beginning. And now you have players and coaches who every day have to figure out a different way to move in the NIL era because no one is guiding them. And that's the sort of things that happen when you don't do that.
Yeah, there are no rules. The only thing I will say quickly is you can miss me with all of the coaches You're telling me that a person found themselves in a situation, and then even though they had made a long-term commitment, they saw a better opportunity out there, so they decided to take it?
Coach?
That you just described basically every coach in major college athletics, and is in my lifetime, and probably far longer than that as well. People who've had contracts. I don't know what Mario Cristobal's contract situation was at Oregon when he decided to leave to go to Miami, but he certainly wouldn't have been the first one that had 7 years left on his contract, but saw a better opportunity and chose to go get it somewhere else. So
well, the difference, Greeny, in your mythology there, I mean, you're talking so damn fast, man. I believe you might have hit you some meth before the show, but the difference is, Greeny, is that Mario signed the contract, and yeah, he didn't fulfill that contract, but he paid an exit fee. He paid an exit fee. He got punished for leaving Oregon to go to Miami. These players aren't. So, once again, do your research and don't just tell a half-truth here.
You can miss me with telling me the players shouldn't be allowed to do the same thing. Whether this young man handled this situation correctly or not, I don't know enough about the details of it to weigh in on that. But it strikes me that the coaches are the last people I want to hear from on that subject. Heather, final word.
I do agree with him on that. The coaches have been getting overpaid for a very long time. I said it in my previous podcast. Not many people want to admit that shit. But Nick Saban getting paid $11 million. Brent Venables getting paid $8-9 million. It shouldn't be happening if you're not going to give the players at least a little bit of a bump too.
There are no winners in this, Greeny, and how it impacts the future depends on how this story ends. Watch what happens in the portal with Nico Iamaleava. Does he eventually wind up getting the money that he wants? Because if he does, he might wind up looking like a hero to other players. If he doesn't, this is a cautionary tale.
And that was the podcast from Paul Finebaum and ESPN that I just wanted to give my take on and give my interaction and my thoughts on the whole thing. You guys and gals, tell me what y'all think about all that. Drop in the comment section. Do you think that Nico, I'm a loser, whatever his name is now, you think he was in the right? Do you think Tennessee was in the right? Do you think Ryan Clark's a jackass? Because I certainly do. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. That's the Big Four, and they're all absolutely free. You can also join the Outlaw Posse for $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. That's just a half a bottle of War for the Outlaw. If you want a little something extra, do that, and you'll be in the Outlaw Posse. You get a badge, you'll get deputized, you'll get a random 4 horseman shout, as well as possibly the comment of the day. KMCA to all the other teams, especially Ryan Clark. Class is now dismissed.